Need the aquarium domain towel to start off this video. Putting in the work in the fish basement. I'm already through 600 square feet of fiberglass mat to give you an idea, and countless containers of resin. Craziness. But I just want to let you know that you see for the thumbnail, there's going to be a rant. I got to get something off my chest. It is somewhat fish aquarium hobby related, and it's just so frustrating. So probably no better people for me to talk to it about than you guys. You know, you're in the hobby. You probably deal with some of this stuff too. So I want to do a little rant. But before I do that, just want to let you know that in this video, we're going to touch on a bunch of stuff. We're going to check on the progress of the 1,200 gallons, the 1,000-gallon marine estuary, of which there's a lot of progress. I mean, that's a ton of fiberglass material. You'll see a lot of work's been done, and we're getting real close on some of that. As well as I'm going to show you the leaking tank, still leaking like a sieve, getting worse and worse. So that's why I've got to speed up one of the 1,200-gallon tanks. And so I'll walk you through how we're going to do all that. We're going to check on 3 sets of growouts we have going into 3 different tanks in the annex, as well as we're going to be making a change to 2 tanks. Sort of one tank's going to get a little bigger, then the tank that's there is going to sort of be connected to another tank. It'll make sense when I show you. But yeah, we'll check on all progress of all that stuff, and also we're going to check on some of the marine fish today too. People mentioned it's been a long time since we looked at some of those, so we'll check in on those. They've sort of been in a holding pattern with all the changes happening on the marine side, but yeah. All right, well, let me get a rant off my chest, and then we'll go take a look at all that stuff. So anyone who's followed the Aquarium Man channel knows I've never had a rant before. It's my first one, so probably not good at it, so please bear with me, but I do appreciate being able to get it off my chest and also get some feedback from you guys, because maybe there's a better way to go about doing this, and that would take a lot of stress off my plate if I knew that. So at any rate, my rant is with the post office and shipping fish, or in this case, shark eggs. So we all know that I have some very prolifically breeding bamboo sharks, mass-producing eggs, and that I want to find homes for all these sharks. You know, I don't think I can raise up 20 bamboo sharks, or I don't think I want to. So I want to find these guys good homes. And I got a couple awesome emails. One from Kiefer, who owns a marine aquarium store in northern Kentucky, just south of Cincinnati. And he wrote me this awesome email, and he said, hey, you know, I would love to have a couple of your shark eggs, and they would be like mascots in my store. I've got a big tank for them, be a piece of aquarium domain in my fish shop, you know. And just the guy, if you read the email, he just seems like an extremely high quality person, someone who really cares about the animals. And I was like, well, this is amazing. This is a win-win-win-win-win. You know, we find a good home for these fish. This is an awesome guy. And people coming into the store will get to see these sharks, you know, and see how big they eventually get too. You know, the whole deterrent thing from, you know, hey, can I put a bamboo shark in a 100-gallon? Well, for a little while, right? But, you know, we all know that stuff. And so I've never, you know, shipped this stuff before, so I'm super paranoid. I go to the post office. I say, hey, what's the best way to get theirs? They say this priority, you know, super priority box, you know, over here. Put it in there, and I take that home. I package all up, but I leave it open so that when we get there, I can say, hey, this is what it is. This house package. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, no problem. We ship everything. Doesn't matter. And it's not explosive. Like, nope, it's salt water and shark eggs. And so we, you know, put the box together, tape it all up, put the stickers on, and they assure me it's all good to go. Well, time goes by. You know, I send Kiefer the tracking. He's like, sweet, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And then nothing, and then nothing, and then he calls the post office. I call the post office. We all both have the tracking. The post office tells both of us that nobody called, and we know we both called. You know, I trusted he called. He told me he did. I don't doubt him, and I know I did. And so we're like, what the hell's going on? And days go by and everything, and then they finally, the post office just gives up. They just say, oh, that's gone. I mean, like it just disappeared into the ether, you know. I mean, it's like, what the hell, you know? And, you know, I'd put some swag in there for him and everything, and you know what? That's not a big deal, but you just killed 2 baby sharks, or what hopefully would have become 2 baby sharks. They're just gone like that because the post office can't deliver a package from Maryland to Kentucky. And I did the priority, the best box they had. I said, look, my concern is getting this stuff. I'm not concerned about how much it costs. You know, I'm not a big shipper. It's kind of a 1-2 time thing for me. So I just want to get the things there. You know, yeah, this is the best way to do it. Everything's fine, and then that happens. doesn't end there. I wouldn't rant on just that. You know, okay, something happens, right? Well, at the same time, I had another email from Don out in Utah. Don is an older gentleman. He's retired. He used to have a giant reef. He has an 8-foot by 8-foot aquarium. And yes, I asked him, do you have any photos and videos of this on the internet? I need to see this. And he does. He's an older guy. He just had it, something he had built out of acrylic in his basement. He had a giant reef in there. And the pictures he did show me, I did ask him to send me some pictures, which he did in email. He had the old school metal halides with the big reflectors and everything. But he's older. He's not like decrepit or anything, but he can't be working in such a huge, intricate coral aquarium with all the frag, everything he was doing. The guy was running like an off-the-chain environment. So at any rate, he's broke it down from that, and he's thinking, I would love to have a couple of your sharks. They'd be perfect in here. I could take care of them. It'd be a much easier aquascape to deal with and everything, and they can live out their years here. And the guy's a super nice guy. He's thinking about even after himself. He's like, my wife's 15 or 12 years younger than I am, so when I pass away, she'll take care of, I've got adult kids, they're going to be taken care of. I'm like, again, another high quality, comes across as a very high quality person. He's thinking about the welfare of these future sharks and everything. Absolutely, man. Let me send you shark eggs. Same deal. Did the exact same thing. I packaged these things to the nines. I got the priority box, they said. I brought it out there again. I watched them, say, yes, it's all fine. We zipped it up. We put the live fish, the stickers all over it, all that stuff. Off it goes. And day comes and it says it's delivered. And I'm like, sweet. So I send Don an email. And I'm just like, hey, how'd everything go? Did they arrive? Everything okay? Again, I put some swag, t-shirts, towels and stuff in there for him. And he's like, oh, no, nothing got delivered. And I'm like, huh, were you home? He's like, yeah, I'm retired. I was home all day. Wife's here. There's nothing delivered. So then I check again. He checks. And then it's not delivered. It's still in transit or whatever. So we're like, okay, maybe it was just a snafu, whatever. And then lo and behold, it never leaves in transit. And it, too, just disappears into the ether. And the post office is just like, you got insurance? I was like, that's not the point. You guys are killing live animals. I mean, I'm not worried about the effing t-shirts and the cost of the shipping it. You're killing things. Where's this stuff going? Like, why doesn't this work? You follow the steps and it doesn't get there. Twice. I mean, 2 out of 2. Like, what the frick are the odds of this crap? I mean, it's like, what's going on here? This is so frustrating. So, okay, I got 5 dead sharks because I sent 3 to Kiefer, 2 to Don. And so now they're gone. And then at the same time, I remembered I ordered red mangroves for the Mangrove Estuary, right? And I was like, man, I never received that stuff. And I was like, damn, that's crap. So I went and I checked Amazon and it says, yeah, we delivered that to you. I'm like, no, you didn't. So I contact the third-party seller on there and he says, yeah, I got confirmation from the post office that they delivered it to you. And I was like, oh God, the post office. So he sends me the stuff and it says, yeah, I made it here. So I'm like, it's not here. I'm looking all around and I drive out and this is when the remnants of a hurricane were coming up the coast. So it started raining, like pouring down rain every day for like 3 or 4 days. And my mailbox is at the end of a very long driveway. So it's not like I just check it all the time, but I drove past it and I noticed, keep in mind, this is what I'm telling you right now occurred like about 12 days after I should have received the package. So what should have taken whatever it was, 3 or 5 days, took like 27 days or something ridiculous. It was so long I'd forgotten all about it. And I look out there and I'm turning onto the street from my driveway and I notice it looks like someone threw a pile of trash, in front of my mailbox is here and my trash can is here. It's like someone threw some trash in front of my trash can. But it was pouring down rain, so I'll get it later. 3 days good. It literally rained for like 3 days. I finally walk out there, check the mailbox, and I'm like, oh, that trash is still laying there, soaking wet. And I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, is that a post office box, like something like a package? Keep in mind, this thing looks like somebody threw it from the space station, and it landed, smashed into Earth, and then was trampled by a wild pack of bears, and then got rained on by a hurricane for 4 days. It was insane. So at any rate, I pick up this mush, and it's, lo and behold, it's got the baby mangroves in it. Now they look like they were completely bleached, and keep in mind, before the hurricane thing, it was like 100 degrees every day for 2 weeks. So I think they sat in this box, going around God knows where for a couple weeks, getting roasted. And I think what saved them was that the box was so shredded, that the insides were so shredded that it exposed these poor baby mangroves to the environment, and they got rained on for 3 days, and I think they came back. And keep in mind, they don't look good. They look like asparagus that somebody just, I mean, they look bad, but let me show you something. So a tiny little good comes out of this whole thing. This is the baby mangroves. We've got them in a container. They're coming back. They were all just this dead stuff. This is all new growth right here. And thank God at least something is going to live through being sent through the post office. We do have our red mangroves for the Mangrove Estuary. So sorry for the long rant. It's probably my first and only rant on this channel. I just had to get that off my chest. It's just so effing frustrating. And what I want to ask you guys is, I do want to be able to send stuff to people sometimes, you know, send some shirts out, some shark eggs, whatever. What do you guys do? I mean, like, what do you do when you can't use the post office? Is the UPS store, are they better? FedEx, I mean, DHL, FedEx, like, does anyone have any experience with, you know, just a regular person? I'm not a shipping company or anything, just a regular person walk into a store and send a package to somebody and it gets there. I mean, please help me out. Is there a better option than the post office? Because I just can't believe that, what are the odds that the 3 things that I have all get, you know, lost and destroyed and everything? And it's like, I don't know. It's, even my cat's frustrated. So, all right, let's get into the video. Just a quick look at the Growout Tank. We have 3 separate groups of fish in here. They're going to 3 tanks in the annex. You can probably guess where that beauty right there is going. But then we've also got 2 groups of fish down here. We've got these guys, a couple more of them over here. Those are the albino threadfin acara. And then of course we have a nice sized group of Savannah geophagus. And all 3 of these guys, like I said, they're going to the annex and they're going to 3 different aquariums. So I'll let you guess as to where each one of these guys are headed, even though it's a pretty easy guess for that guy over there. All right, so this is going to be the deal with the 1,200 gallons. So we had the poll as to what to turn the second 1,200 gallon into, and the winner of the poll was the Amazon Community Aquarium. So this tank here is going to be a massive Amazon Community Aquarium with the smaller Amazonian fish, which means this guy over here is the tank that needs to be built first, because as you can see over here, I've started fiberglassing the lower portion of the filter box, but I've only done the fill work on the rest of the tank. But over here on the other 1,200 gallon, you can see that the filter box is built up much higher and it's all fiberglassed in there. It's ready for the second rung of fiberglassing, but the tank itself is completely fiberglassed. So the way this works is that all of your seams, so all the seams along the bottom, anytime I have wood coming together, or seams in the front here, all of that is triple glassed. So 3 layers of fiberglass. The entire floor of the aquarium is 3 layers of fiberglass, and then all the verticals are 1 layer of fiberglass. And then you can also see, a lot of people always ask, do you fiberglass the front, you know, where you have the 2x4s, and I generally do, yeah. So it gives you a smooth surface so you don't have to worry about getting the epoxy paint in there. And of course, down here, so everywhere we have a seam, fully fiberglass. So this 1,200 gallon is completely glassed, with the exception of just finishing up the filter as I build it up. And basically, the filter, it's you know, it's going to come up to about here. So you can see a few runs left, but not too much to go. I've just been fiberglassing in sections to make it easier to get into, so the entire filter box will be fiberglassed. And I also have the paint to start painting the outsides of these tanks. So this one is coming along real fast, and this is going to be where all the fish, well, I'm going to show you all the fish that are moving in here. So all the fish from the 750 gallon, except for the small tetra, are going to be moving into that 1,200 gallon. So it is going to be an Amazonian tank, but it's going to have a little bit of a twist. So all of the small tetra and everything are going to go into the other aquarium eventually when it's ready, but these sort of medium-sized to big Amazonian fish, like the parrots and the angels and the severum, they're going to be going into an Amazon Community tank, the new 1,200, that is going to have, where it's basically going to be where these are going to be the mild in-between fish. There'll be a few bigger guys I'm going to add with them, but I'll save that for when we get there. But everything's going to get moved out of here. This becomes the new Malawi African River, or basically Lake Malawi tank, 750 gallons, and then that will allow me to break down the 125 where the African signals are currently right now and get that all fixed up. And for anyone wondering about the decision to fast track one of the 1200 gallons so that I can start the process of moving these guys to their new tank and getting this fixed, well, that's what I'm dealing with down there. Basically a puddle. You can even see the sediment coming out from the bottom of the filter where the liner is all messed up. So I pretty much figured, well, I could bring in one of my Growout tubs from outside and set these guys up, or I can just let this keep seeping out and just redo this whole stand and everything. And obviously I've decided to do that. The ground slopes this way, so all the water is contained with this towel here, and you can see it's just going to be a bunch of muck under there, but really it's damaging is the plywood stand, or I'm sorry, 2x4 stand, which again, I'll just rebuild the whole thing. Once this tank is torn down and the African cichlids are moved into the 750 gallon, it won't be that hard to just go ahead and pull the tank down and just tear all this out and redo the whole thing and make it better. And I don't know, I was doing some measuring. This is a 6-foot 125. I wonder if I could fit a 240 in there. I don't know, we'll have to see. But either way, this is the reason I'm fast tracking one of the 1200 gallons in front of Predator Bay 3000 is I just got to deal with this. Every day I see this mess, it just frustrates me. And it frustrates me because I bought this cheapo liner. I don't know. You know, I should have known better. You know, I got the experience. I've been doing this a long time. I know that had to be a reason why that liner was so cheap on Amazon, and you know, live and learn, right? It's definitely a mistake I won't be making again. So a few people have mentioned it has been quite a while since we showed the saltwater 600 reef slope. A big reason for that is because all the fish, all the rock in here, everything's going to get moved over to what's the current Predator Bay, the 1800 gallon aquarium in the middle of the fish basement. So they're going to be going into a massive new home and everything. So at any rate, this tank has been on just autopilot essentially. You know, everyone's growing, everyone's healthy. As far as that, no problems. But as far as the tank itself, I've never stocked it with corals. I've never, in fact, I've not slacked off, but I backed off on the dosing for the coralline and everything because it's kind of expensive and everything's going to get moved over and redone and reset. So, you know, just figure what's the point. But at any rate, I just wanted to show you the guys, the fish in here. The queen angel has grown a lot. The French angel has grown a lot. You can see the French is almost through transitioning to an adult angel now. So as well as the queen is pretty much with adult coloration, just needs to grow in size. Sailfin, which stayed small for a long time, finally putting on size. Another thing I noticed is my little fish. I still got all my little damsels, but all of my chromis sort of aged out. I mean, this tank's been around for a long time, and the chromis were moved over from another tank. So I was thinking about it, 5-6 years. You know, they've pretty much just aged out. I don't see them. The only fish that I know died or was killed was the small Koran angel. Just was in there for the longest time, and then just one day all of a sudden you know, I saw him dead and torn up, but I never saw anyone picking on him. You know, I look at the tank every day, and I think the getting torn up was after death. He did so the Koran angel used to go everywhere, but I did notice for many months sort of stayed over to the left side in the back there. And he would eat every time because the way I feed the tank, it's a very huge tank, it's very tall, 4 feet tall, and there's wave makers in the back and in the front and water outlets in the back, so the food goes everywhere within the tank. So there's not like any one fish can bully the other fish into not getting food. So it wasn't that, it was something else, but unfortunately by the time I saw the body, it had been torn up by either other fish or inverts, so it was really hard to tell what happened. But there was sort of a gradual decline where you can see that he was probably being intimidated by the other large angels. That's what would make the most sense. But again, nothing that ever happened in front of me, so hard to say. Anyway, just a quick check on these guys, and just thinking, I've got an idea well, I have a plan actually for the aquascape in the 1800 gallon, and I think it's going to be off the charts. It's going to be really cool. I've sort of drawn it out a few times, and every time I come back to it, it's going to be nice. So I can't wait to see all these guys also mixed in with the other fish that are in the 265, the other half of this system that's connected behind over there, all together in one giant lagoon aquarium. And then we can actually start putting corals and stuff in there. That'll be cool. And I have definitely not forgot about the Mangrove Estuary Aquarium. This is where a lot of fiberglassing is taking place right now, because this is going to be the second tank to come online. So that 1,200 gallon tank is going to be done first, so that I can fix that 125 gallon sump that's leaking on my floor every day, causing a giant mess, and just basically being nasty. So that's got to come first, but this comes second, and then the new 1,200 gallon that is for the Amazonian community fish, that will be the last one to come online. And I mean, it's crazy. I should not even really question this, but it's like, it's a lot of work working on 3 of these big projects all at one time. So it definitely kicks my butt, but then I think about it, I'm like, you're working on 3 giant projects at once. I mean, it should be a lot of work, and it is. But I want to show you here this is the hardest part over here. It's the smallest amount of space to work with, and the opening doesn't start for back here. So this is all done. This is all, again, triple fiberglassed every single seam, and double fiberglassed on all the walls up to here. You can see I'll do the top part last. It's the easiest to get to. But then if we come down here to the bottom, the floor has all been triple fiberglass. The front is tripled, that seam, every vertical seam, like here. So we're all the way down. So basically, we're almost halfway done on the fiberglassing on the Mangrove Estuary, and we've done the harder part. This is much more open down here, much more easier to work with. So yeah, it's coming along pretty quick. Basically, the only reason I stopped is I ran out of fiberglass mat. All I got left is, you can see a few cut pieces here and a few up here, but that would go really, really quick. I have more resin, but I've been pounding through the resin. I think I've gone through 8 gallons of, I think 8 gallons of resin so far, and 600 square feet of fiberglass mat. So I'm going to be buying another 500 square feet of fiberglass mat, and probably a few more, maybe 4 more gallons of the resin. Unbelievable. I came over here to check on the lovebirds, and what do I see? 1, 2 more shark eggs. These guys are oh my gosh, they're unbelievable. Well, I'm happy you guys enjoy each other's company so much. I guess that's a nice thing, and you have a big new 3,000 gallon home coming your way, so got something to look forward to. Oh my gosh, I need that estuary like tomorrow. So, my apologies for the rant at the beginning of the video, but it does feel good to get that off my chest, and I am hoping that maybe somebody can give me some insight into a better way to get live fish, live shark eggs shipped. As well as, I just want to follow up that, so the 125 gallon that's currently in the Maui River with the leaking sump, so that's going to get redone. I have enough room to make that an 8-foot tank. They don't sell an 8-foot tank that would fit there perfectly, because I can't use a 240 because it's got to be 18 inches front to back. There's kind of a walkway there. So I'm going to build another custom tank there. The stand's already getting trashed from all the leaking water, so redo the whole thing. It'd be a lot nicer. We'll have the new style sump, and we'll have a bigger tank, do something cool there with. The 125 though, I am going to repurpose that in the annex. So here's the plan, is we know I have a 12-foot long tank, was going to be the last tank in there. But I'm having a hell of a time trying to find the glass for that. The world sort of changed a few years ago, and a lot of the stuff that was available isn't available, or the cost is astronomical. So the places that will sell to an individual just doing custom projects at home, kind of one-off stuff, doesn't have anything near that size. And the guys who do have glass that size, they're looking to sell to somebody building a building or something. They don't want to sell to me just getting one small piece like that. It's not worth their time. So kind of in a pinch there. So kind of what I was thinking about doing is maybe taking my 125, which will become unused pretty soon, maybe combining it with another 125 and making that be the 12-foot tank. I can either cut the tanks up and put the glass together, or like find another 125 that's broken, cut out one panel, and put the glass together and have a seam in the middle. Or I was thinking maybe just I could buy another 125 and have the two of them butted up together and do some sort of tank where it looks like it's a big 12-foot tank, but it's really the two 125s like that, so two 6-foots. So we'll see, do something like that. The other thing too is, I know with the 1,200 gallon Amazon community tank coming on, I was thinking, is that a duplicate of what I have here in the 220? And in some ways, yes, but also I think the difference is going to be is in the 220 here, I can, I'm obviously going to keep my discus, because as far as I'm concerned, I want more discus, not less. So I'm fine with having multiple tanks with discus in it. I love these guys. But I could do more delicate fish here and then do some of the bigger community guys mixed in the 1,200. Because when you do have the bigger tanks, it's not quite the same viewing dynamic as a smaller tank. So I like to view big tanks for most things, but not for everything. And this tank here is just so dialed in and so perfect, I don't want to touch it. So this will remain, and we're going to basically do another one of these, just with a sort of a different setup. Even though it could even have discus in it, but it'll be different. It'll be, built up of a lot of the same fish, but different in its own way. So it won't necessarily be duplication. It'll just basically be augmentation, more of a good thing. So at any rate, ton of stuff going on. I'm going to get all that fiberglass and resin ordered. I'm going to get these things glassed, and we're going to get the epoxy painting and getting glass installed, because we got to go. I got water leaking on the floor. I got shark eggs. I'm on a timer here. We got to get these projects done. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.